Jamaican Easter Bun started with the hot cross bun, but somewhere along the way it turned into something richer, fruitier, and way more indulgent. Sweet, spiced, loaded with fruits, and always paired with a thick slice of Jamaican cheddar cheese. You'll usually find yeast versions in bakeries and baking powder versions at home, but today we're taking a different route. We're making sourdough Easter bun. This one's been requested for a long time, and after finally making it, I can honestly say it's my favorite version. More depth, more warmth, and a texture that just hits different. Let's get right into it. Since this bun leans so heavily on spice, the first thing I want to lock in is that flavor base. Most Easter buns use pre-mixed spice blends and that works, but today let's build our own from scratch. A traditional Jamaican mixed spice is simple. It's a few carefully selected warm spices. But making it ourselves means we can really elevate it. Start with zesting one orange. This adds a ton of fresh light aromas and really brightens up those deeper warmer flavors. Once you have that zest, I'm going to dehydrate it on low heat. That's going to concentrate its flavor and bring out some more complex aromas. I will be toasting all of our spices. That releases their oils and makes the flavors much more complex. Once that's dehydrated, I'm adding 2 tablespoons of dried pimento or allspice. That's about a dozen cloves, half of a nutmeg. If you have the mace, you could add a bit of that too. 3 star anise. You guys told me that star anise is a prime Easter bun spice, and that has been a revelation. You don't want it to stand out because it's very strong, but adding it to your spice blend levels it up so much. And finally, we have cinnamon sticks. I'm adding about 6, but cinnamon is very forgiving, so a little more won't hurt. Once you start getting those aromas, you can remove it from the heat. We don't want to burn anything. Just wake up those flavors. Next up, I'm going to blend these. These cinnamon sticks weren't toasted as much because I didn't want the other ingredients to burn. It's not a big deal though. I'm going to let this blend until I get a fine powder. Wow, that smells incredible. Run that spice blend through a fine mesh strainer. There's always some larger pieces left and we don't want them in our bun. We can always give those larger pieces a second pass. Can't do wasting any of that delicious flavor. Run that through a strainer again, and now we have this deep aromatic spice that hits all those classic notes a proper Jamaican bun is known for. Another thing Jamaican bun is known for are fruits. Dried fruits, specifically raisins. These are a staple in bun. For this recipe, I'm using 2/3 cup black raisins and 2/3 cup golden raisins. These add some sweetness with a little tang that makes the bun that much more delicious. Dragon Stout. I'm going to soak my raisins in this for a couple hours to rehydrate them. Stout has a deep malty flavor that complements the bun really well. I'm adding just enough to submerge them. Another fruit I'm adding are cherries. These I don't have to soak, but I will cut them up a bit so I have smaller pieces. And that's really it for our fruits. We could do a lot more, but raisins and cherries do the job so well, so no need to overdo it. While the fruits are doing their thing, let's talk about the star of the show. If you're not familiar with sourdough, it's simply cultivated wild yeast. It's just flour and water acting as a home for a whole community of microbes that leaven our bakes and give that distinctive sourdough flavor. If you want a full step-by-step and starting and maintaining one, I have a dedicated sourdough video linked in the description. This is about a cup of starter I had in the fridge. The cold slows the yeast down and keeps it mostly dormant, but now I want it active, so I'm going to feed it. To the starter, I'm adding half a cup of all-purpose flour. Then just enough water to form a thick batter. Mix well so all the flour is fully hydrated. Now the yeast has fresh food so it will wake up and multiply. I'm going to cover it and let it sit at room temperature. Not airtight, just loosely covered so gases can escape. I like to mark the level and note the time. I'm looking for this to at least double in about 3 to 4 hours. 4 hours later and we're at about triple the volume, so that tells me it's very active. I love that sweet, tangy, slightly fruity smell. Another sign it's ready is the texture. It's airy, bubbly, sometimes even moving a little on its own. 4 hours is on the quicker side. Depending on temperature and starter strength, this can take anywhere from 2 to up to about 12 hours and still be perfectly usable. Personally, I like to use it when it doubles or triples. Now that our starter is ready, let's make our dough. In a bowl, start with 2 cups of water. This is room temperature water, by the way. Jamaican Easter buns are always sweeter, so I'm adding half a cup of brown sugar. For a darker color, I'm adding 2 tablespoons of browning. And for both color and depth of flavor, 2 tablespoons of molasses. This is where that deep, nostalgic richness starts building. To bring all those flavors together, I'm adding a tablespoon of salt and mixing to dissolve everything. Now we can add our starter. A floating starter is a good starter. That starter container is not dirty. That's just wild yeast clinging to the sides, ready to build that next batch. So I'm going to add some flour and water, pop this back in the fridge until I'm ready for my next sourdough. Give that a little mix and now we can add our flour. I'm using bread flour. The acidic nature of sourdough weakens gluten, so a higher protein flour gives us better structure and texture, especially important in something enriched like this. Oops, wow, I almost forgot one of the most important ingredients. That's our mixed spice from earlier. It smells so good. This is where it stops being bread and starts becoming bun. I'm using 2 tablespoons. I love making sourdough. It's one of those things that you mostly do by feel. Even if it doesn't look perfect, it usually still turns out delicious. I ended up using a total of 6 cups of bread flour for this recipe. That made my dough a bit firmer, but it's a lot easier to work with. A higher hydration dough gives you something lighter and airier, but Jamaican Easter buns are usually on the denser side, so this texture actually works in our favor. Also bear in mind that our fruits will add a bit of liquid, and speaking of fruits, let's add them. I'm starting with 2/3 cup of cherries. Next, the raisins. They're nicely hydrated now and soaked up a lot of that stout. Before I add them, I'm going to strain off all of that liquid. That residual moisture is still enough to affect the hydration, so we don't need the extra liquid. This is going to be so good. Next, I'm simply folding in the fruits so they are distributed evenly. You want fruits in every single slice. Now, if stout is so delicious and it's a staple in bun, why didn't I use it instead of water? Is a fair question you might be asking. Although stout could work, there are a couple considerations. The biggest is alcohol. Alcohol slows down yeast activity. A little is fine, but too much can stall fermentation completely. Alcohol also weakens gluten, so the structure would suffer. And honestly, those raisins absorbed enough stout to make an impact, so we're not really missing out. Great, that dough is ready, so let's cover it up. I'm going to let it rest for about 15 to 20 minutes. That relaxes the gluten and makes it easier to work. Once rested, we can do some stretch and folds. This builds structure without heavy kneading. It's tightening up and holding itself together. That smooth texture is exactly what we want to see. I'm going to cover this again and let it rest another 15 to 20 minutes. Then repeat the stretch and folds. Cover and rest for a further 15 minutes so the dough can relax again. That's ready. Now let's move on to shaping those buns. These are bannetons and this is what we use to proof our loaves in. To prevent sticking, I'm going to sprinkle them generously with rice flour. I make my rice flour by simply blending and sifting plain long grain rice. Bannetons are nice to have, but they're not totally necessary. A bowl works just fine. As for our dough, I'm just going to divide it in two. I'm just using a bit of plain flour to help me deal with the stickiness. Fold the dough over onto itself to tighten it up. Cut in half. I'm eyeballing it, but if you want to be precise, you can always wait. Now, let's shape each loaf. Fold it over onto itself to build back that structure. Flatten slightly. Fold over the sides. Then roll it while keeping everything nice and tight. And that's it. This goes into the proofing basket seam side up. Give it a stitch so it holds its shape and stays nice and snug. That is it. Repeat those same steps with the next half of the dough. The second basket is round, so I'm just going to round this one up instead. Seam side up just the same. Give that a stitch. Those are done. This is where the excitement starts to really build for me. Next, I'm going to cover these and let them proof at room temperature. Sourdough Easter bun is considered enriched. It has sugar, fruits and other ingredients, all of which slow fermentation down. This took 2 hours for me, but 3 to 4 hours is very normal for a final proof like this. You could also leave them in the fridge overnight for a slower proof and even more flavor development. This is my cast iron Dutch oven. It's heavy, it's thick, and it holds on to heat really well. This is perfect for baking sourdough Easter buns in. That's not to say a thinner stainless steel Dutch oven won't work. In fact, I'm going to put my second loaf in this one. Before the loaves go in, we need to heat these up while the oven preheats. I'm setting it to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. That's going to give our dough a nice head start. As for our loaves, I'm going to sprinkle a bit of rice flour on the seam side. Flip over onto a piece of grease paper. Now grab your hot Dutch oven from the oven. The edges of the grease paper makes moving the dough easy so I don't burn myself. Once in the Dutch oven, I'm going to brush away the excess rice flour. I will be glazing this later and rice flour will kinda interfere with that. Next, I'm going to score it with a razor blade. A sharp knife also works. And to pay respects to the roots of Easter bun, I'm making a cross. Once scored, I'm going to grab a few small pieces of ice. The ice is going to rapidly turn to steam and help bake our bun. Cover that up and place it right back into the oven to do its thing. I'm going to do the same thing for our second loaf. Rice flour to prevent sticking. Flip over onto grease paper. Place that into the Dutch oven. Brush away excess rice flour. Score. Add ice. Cover and then place back into the oven to bake at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. After 35 minutes, I'm going to remove the cover. This way I can get some good crust on the buns. These smell incredible. I'm going to give them another 15 minutes. So while we wait on those to finish, let's make the final component of our delicious sourdough Easter bun. In a pan on medium heat, add 1/4 cup brown sugar. To that, I'm going to add a big splash of Dragon Stout. I'm making a glaze. This is not only super simple, it has an incredible flavor. I'm just letting this reduce until it gets syrupy. It will thicken further as it cools, so don't let it reduce too much. That looks good and tastes incredible, so it should be ready. What's also now ready is our Easter buns. I love how this turned out, so I'm very excited. I didn't quite get across on the first one, but honestly, that doesn't matter. Taste is what counts. I'm going to glaze this while it's still hot. I really wasn't sure if I wanted to glaze this or not. I like the unglazed finish, but I still wanted to know how the glaze would transform the sourdough bun. Before I dig in, I'm going to let it cool down completely. I'm really anticipating this. Now that it's cool, that crust is beautifully sticky. I left this one unglazed so I can see the difference. Can't wait to see what's on the inside. That is it. We got a good rise, perfect amount of fruits with good distribution, and that color is perfect. That is delicious. I love the slightly chewy texture sourdough has, and it works so well with this bun. The flavor is deep, the spice is balanced, and it's the perfect amount of sweetness. This is giving me a real gourmet vibe. Of course, we can't have bun without Jamaican cheddar cheese. Sweet bun and salty cheese is a classic combo, and sourdough works even better. For something so sweet, it works incredibly well with savory foods. I gave my mom some and she really enjoyed it with fried fish. This is hands down my favorite bun, and every step was worth it. Please try out this yourself and come back and let me know how it turned out. I'm Nick and this has been delicious. Check the description for a full sourdough starter guide and where you can get some of the tools and equipments I use in this video. Shout out to everyone who requested this. Enough love to our patrons. Thank you for watching. Bless up, and I'll catch you in the next one.